My loves, it's Chels, and today I wanted to talk about something that I just realized. Um, but it doesn't stem from, well, let me just tell you. I randomly started thinking about the lack of respect that comes from men and how tired I am of basically having to fight for just existing, for being a woman against men, right? In general, society has this notion that men are better than women. Their voice means more. Their existence means more. Um, and so that led me back to thinking about a time when I worked with my last boss. There was a time where we were all having a meeting, and our meetings used to consist of like eating, speaking of everything we had to talk about, and then whatever activity was planned. Sometimes there was no activity, sometimes the activity was eating, and sometimes there was an activity. This time there was an activity. Before the activity, though, we had to separate into groups. Now, me and the people that I used to talk to, like my friend group slash coworkers, had all decided we're gonna be together. Like they can figure it out. And this boss that I had at the time clearly, very much clearly, wanted to be in a group with us. But since we had already decided we were going to be together and he had no control over it because we were no longer clocked in, he was upset. So he was trying to take charge. And the one thing about me, I hate when a man tries to take charge in a situation where he has no reason to take charge. And we were no longer clocked in, which was my number one problem. We were no longer clocked in. You're not my boss anymore. You're just a person that we're here with. And at that point, which was the first time ever, he had bought all of us shots, right? And I'm not even gonna get into that. Let's just say that it was it was weird, and we all knew it, but we decided to just whatever, F it, right? Now, he didn't know, but prior to the meetings, me and my other coworkers would sometimes grab one little small little buzzball from the store just to calm our nerves because sometimes we would be upset. And sometimes we were like, we need to calm down, especially because we had a lot of things to say in most of these meetings. And sometimes we needed a chill pill. Sometimes we needed a chill pill. Let me just say that. I'm not even going to get into the details. And so that day was one of those days where we needed one. So we drank one before and then we drank the one he bought. We had already been planning to buy some drinks when we got there. But since he bought that, we drank that first. And then after we decided right before playing the game or during the game, we were going to keep buying some, which again, he didn't know. All he knew was that we drank the shot that he bought. And there's a reason why I'm saying all this, and I'm specifying on the details. Because when we were trying to figure out how to exactly play the game, like so that we would all play fair and see who won at the end of the night, and there was only three groups. I was quiet, I was just letting everybody just decide, right? But at some point I intervened and I said, wait, no, like, didn't y'all just say this? Because I didn't want to my head to be thinking one thing and then it was a whole nother thing, right? At the end of the day, I don't know why I even stressed about it because none of it even mattered. It was just us having fun drinking. But I guess the other groups did take it more seriously. Um but anyway, so while we were figuring it out, and I all I said was, no, y'all didn't say that. Y'all said this and this prior, which I was mistaken. They did repeat the same thing. They just went in circles to the same thing. But I forgot that, right? So when I said that, he said, "You know what, Chelsea? Just don't even because he said, you become really bossy when you drink." When I tell you, I got extremely upset because, first of all, you don't know me as a person. You only know me as a worker. And if that's what you think of me, if all you know is my worker side, that's a crazy notion. Because if you knew how I used to work, let me tell you that that was the craziest thing you could have ever said to me. And like I said, second of all, that one shot didn't do anything. Like, I'm not a drinker, but that one shot didn't do anything. We had eaten before, so it wasn't gonna do anything. Um, and it was like, I was extremely mad for, I want to tell you, like, even like to this day, I still carry anger, and I need to release that, which is something I'm aware of, that I try to ignore, because for the longest time it's just like, I just don't get it. Like, that's so disrespectful. Like, why would you say that in general? Even if I was a drunk per se, even if I was, why would you say that to somebody, that they become bossy? Like, all I asked was, well, I didn't even ask. I just said, that's not what y'all said. That y'all said something else. That's it. That's it. It wasn't even in a confrontational. I just said, no, wait, that's not what y'all said. I when I tell you that I was so angry, I wanted to slap him, to choke him, to do so many things to him, and I had to have so much self-control, because I told myself, you cannot do anything, because if you do something, you will lose your job, and you cannot lose your job. And that angers me, because this boss has had other incidents with other people that I'm not even going to get into, but I'm just going to say that it's just not, his whole vibe was inappropriate most of the time. And the times it was appropriate was like, I can't, you could count them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was very upset. And the thing I just realized though, because I was thinking back on it, and I was thinking about why one of my friends, or at least you could say she was my coworker and my friend back then, she kept telling me, like, don't even worry about it, don't even think about it, like, don't even, you didn't even care about it, you don't even care about it. And I couldn't not care, because it was so disrespectful, right? But here's the message that I just, like, kind of received by myself, just thinking about what she was saying back then, because she just kept repeating that same thing. That shouldn't matter, just don't even focus on it, don't care, what he said, blah blah blah. Just thinking about that, I just got this message of, it wasn't about you, it wasn't about me. What he said had everything to do with him, and I wish I would have known that, or I would have been aware of that in the time, because I could have confronted him in the way that would have embarrassed him. It wasn't about me, it was about him. He was insecure when a woman was strong in her mind, in her power. And because he was insecure when a woman was strong in her mind and in her power, he wanted to make you feel like trash. And so he did or said what he wanted. And he, if I'm being honest, he won. He won that day, But I'm just going to end it off with saying that was the last time he won with me. That was the last time he won with me. Because that anger, trust me, when you make me angry, things are gonna go my way, because they're gonna go my way. Okay? And I don't mean revenge. No, honey. I don't mean revenge. I seek justice. Not revenge, justice. In the best, most honest way possible. I don't mean hurting people. I mean justice. Okay? So, my message from all this is, anytime somebody does something or says something to you, it's not about you, honey. Maybe there's going to be something there sprinkled in that maybe God wants you to hear, or spirit guides or the universe wants you to hear a message. Maybe there's a message in there hidden. And maybe you do need to figure out what that message is. But first and foremost, be aware, be in the knowing that it's not about you, honey. It's all about them and their insecurities and their problems within themselves that they don't want to admit. Okay? Much love, much light, and much clarity. Mwah! I love you guys.